In association with Official Wrestling comes A Few Good Marks podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of A Few Good Marks. We are on FedWatch. I'm your host, Kieran Moran, and I'm joined by Croft,
Hello.
Pete,
Hello.
Alex,
Hello.
and Willow.
Hello.
So, how are we all? Thanks for all pissing yourselves during that introduction.
I'm alright.
Well, I'm shit, thanks for asking. If you want me to go on a tangent.
No, let's move on.
I'm like on the cusp.
No, come on!
I'm like on the cusp of a burp and I just can't get it to...
Go ahead. Oh, no, I hate that. I mean, you can burp all you like on the podcast, but I mean...
I was trying to fuck up your intro with it and it just wasn't happening.
When you're on the cusp, doesn't it start hurting?
Yeah.
That's when I'm on the cusp.
So, we're going to start off with... Actually, we're not going to start off with news. We're going to start off with a few good marks. Do you want to know?
What?
You just said... Yeah, I could have sworn you just went...
I went like that.
Oh, I heard it come from
Get
Jim
out
Boss.
there,
Sorry, I heard some... Fight, fucking hell. Do you want to start again? No, let's not.
No, I'm smashing me. I've got a yogurt.
Well, as long as you're happy. So I'm going to start with a few good marks news, because as of this podcast, we are switching to probably like a podcast every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, instead of the one every week. This is to not only give ourselves time to upload the videos as well, but to also make the podcasts a bit more entertaining, give them some more content in there, so we can actually do some research for just the one, as well as the FedWatch, instead of having to cram a load of stuff in for one night. So we're going to start with FedWatch for February, even though this is going out in March, because lol.
It's good to do a recap of a month that's happened.
Yeah, it's good. So starting off, Rich Swann got released, mutual agreement. Even though it was all kind of cleared up, he got released.
I mean, it came out that he did it, it's just his wife didn't want to press charges. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine he wasn't too popular in the back.
Mm.
And, you know, it'd be a bit of a heavy working environment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true.
What's he going to do now, though?
Indies, yeah.
Yeah, but
Ring
the
of Honor.
indie people will be even worse with him, I imagine.
The Indies will probably take him.
Probably will. There'll be some, like... scummy rundown. I was going to say scummy rundown companies in America that would take him. You could say him TNA, but just at the end of that. There we go.
I hope he goes to CZW, mate.
Really?
Bastard.
Oh, okay, I get where you're going with that. Not for the entertainment value, just for the brutality value.
Just so he gets smashed in the face with a
light tube. Oh, there we go. The Cruiserweight tournament is underway after the former Cruiserweight champion was let go. And I personally hope it's Cedric Alexander getting it, because it would only seem right, because he was set to win it at Royal Rumble, and then Dickhead got...
What, Ciampa?
No, the other one, the littler one with the dickhead hair.
Enzo.
Sweaty.
About that dickhead.
I've got 2 layers on as well.
It's bloody
This
warm,
picks
isn't
you
it?
up, right? This picks you up.
And I'm just saying I'm sweaty.
It is warm, like.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to go outside.
Exactly, it's extremely cold outside. So there's a Cruiserweight tournament. Any inputs on the Cruiserweight tournament?
Absolutely not.
Other than the fact that none of us have watched it.
Yeah, haven't seen a single episode.
Anyone but Roderick Strong. Fucking hate him so much.
There we go. There's a couple of new introductions into the Hall of Fame. We covered Goldberg. So the
There we go.
There is.
Oh, it's about to match here. It didn't happen.
Nope.
Oh, gutted. So the Dudleys and Jeff Jarrett
Double J.
and the Hall of Fame. Who'd have thought that was coming? Jesus.
I didn't think I'd see it, but he deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, they've announced that little JJ will be receiving the Warrior Award. I assume that none of you will know who this person is.
I looked him up very briefly.
See, I think Candy would also know who he is as well, because he's tied in with the New Orleans Saints football team. So obviously they're my team. I know who this kid is. And he's essentially like... I wasn't sure whether it was through Make-A-Wish or something like that, but he's essentially become like a small mascot for the team, and just like the whole team's rallied around him. He's become best mates with Drew Brees. So like he is an incredible young man. I think it does make a lot of difference. This Rory Award, like we all know that it's become this WWE like, oh look at us doing good charity work, look at that. It's kind of become that, but it kind of takes the edge off that when you do know, when you know who it's about and what.
He had like a double liver transplant.
Something like that. Brave, very brave young man. But yeah, it's all good. So before we move on to Elimination Chamber stuff, it was also announced that after WrestleMania, all future pay-per-views would be dual-branded. So no more single-branded pay-per-views. Thoughts?
Don't know how I feel about this.
It was going to come, in my opinion.
There's too many.
There's too many. They've got the problem the WWE have got is they've got too many wrestlers and not enough fans.
Yeah.
Not enough people are watching the product for it to be worth having two
I think having both, it definitely speeds up storylines. It'll make them a lot more interesting because you'll be able to follow it. Not even week for week, you'll be able to follow it from pay-per-view to pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That'll make it a lot better.
That's what I miss.
I agree.
As well, I think that because, like, when they have just Raw or just SmackDown pay-per-views, you tend to see, like, you don't get much on him.
No, and they're also
to, like,
very...
a year or two ago.
They're also very boring as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's not as much star power on it.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, it's going to be harder for, lower down cards, like, guys to get on there now. But, I mean, that's what SmackDown and Raw are for. So it's... they're not getting put on a big stage, but you've got to earn that. You've got to earn being put on the
There's a reason they shouldn't be on the big stage anyway. It's because they're not going to draw viewers in.
That too.
Mm-hmm. For a pay-per-view, for your big monthly event, you want to put on.
I think it makes more sense to
not Titus worldwide.
Yeah, I agree with split. I agree with the split rosters for Raw and SmackDown and this now with
you could have more
things.
interactions as well, like more like distractions or interruptions in matches where you think, oh holy shit, they're not even on the same brand.
Yeah.
So it could make things interesting for a spanner in the works.
Yeah, very true.
I like
as long as they don't do it too often.
Yeah.
I like under the hood brand superiority. I don't like it when it's shoved in your face like Survivor Series. Oh, it's Raw versus SmackDown. Everyone cares about it for some reason all of a sudden. I like it when
if they did that year round, it would make it a lot better.
Well, yeah.
Plus, it makes it easier to build to stuff like Survivor Series because you build a rivalry between the two brands.
Very true.
Like the Raw invasion thing and the SmackDown invasion, that whole angle, it came out of nowhere, and it's like, why do these people care?
I hated Survivor Series as
It's
well.
like all of a sudden we're having a multi-man match, and now we care about what brand we're in.
Yeah,
and then it's like all the people that was feuding on Raw was all of a sudden in a big tag team. Like, I hated Survivor Series.
It was absolutely stupid. And I think if you had it every pay-per-view, and it's like, I've said it before on podcasts, I think, in the old SmackDown vs. Raw games, the commentary pushed it more than real-life commentators did. Like, SmackDown's the dominant brand and all this. And it's like, they should be doing that more often.
Yeah, absolutely.
It should feel like a competition. That's the whole point of a brand split.
I agree. So this next thing was put forward by Candy, who's not here, unfortunately.
Rip. Champ.
The champ is here in peace. In what? No, in spirit.
The champ is here in peace.
Someone said rip, and my brain just instantly went. But Candy put forward everyone thinking up of the ultimate dream Elimination Chamber matches. I can almost guarantee that none of you have done.
I'm going to do it on the fly.
This is the thing. I was just going to get you guys to do it on the fly. So it's just your dream 6 people who you'd
Do you
put
have
in.
3 currents and 3 legends?
Oh, you can do that.
I think that was Candy's.
Was that the rule? That's not the rule I've gone by, but I mean, it may as well be. But go ahead.
Well,
okay.
We have to call on the fly, then you have to call on the fly.
Yeah.
I've already done mine, mate. Because,
Oh, well. It looks like you didn't stick to the rules, so I guess you're doing it on the fly.
Vince McMahon.
Actually, I think you'll find,
Pal.
he. I think you'll find it was a question, and save it for a podcast if you like. But which 6 people would you have in the ultimate Elimination Chamber match? As I shan't be at the next pay-per-view, next FedWatch, I would have, and then he says it, doesn't mention anything about rules.
Look down a bit more.
Yep, the thing you've taken, so folks, blah, blah, blah. I've also just spent 15 minutes thinking up a match structure. I ordered, I think they come out in the next couple of weeks. And then there's something about Billy Graham.
No, it was definitely in there.
I reckon he's deleted it.
How'd you delete it in the fucking chat?
Very easily.
Not on Facebook Messenger. It's not there.
Yeah, you can. You just hold it and then press delete.
Well,
I do it all the time to like make sure screenshots look like I'm not in the wrong.
Wow.
Dedication to being the heel.
We're keeping that in.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's it.
no, do you know what? I must have imagined it.
There you go.
Fair play.
So I'll read Candy's out since he was one. So his entrant number 1 would be Rob Van Dam. 2, 3, and 4 would be Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, and Chris Jericho. Number 5 would be Edge, and number 6 would be Goldberg.
Ooh.
Very good.
Edge and Goldberg can have like a spear off. So
Oh my God.
spear each other, and then there's like
I mean-
the Elimination Chamber just explodes.
I mean, Goldberg could easily win that. Let's be honest. Edge's spear was awful.
yeah, but not in kayfabe.
Yeah, but even then,
It's a spear, isn't it? It's like the most powerful move on earth.
true. I'll go.
Get
Well,
Reigns in there for like a 3-way down.
I'll go next whilst you guys are all still thinking on the fly. So I would have Jeff Hardy, Y2J, The Undertaker, Triple H, Edge, and Braun Strowman. Because of course I'd have Braun. Because after what happened the other day.
Braun's
Why
actually
wouldn't
first on my selection.
you? Well, there you go. Anybody got a full selection?
I do.
Yeah, Croft, go ahead.
I've got Braun,
Okay.
Andrade Almas,
Oh,
Neville,
yeah,
Jericho,
yeah.
Batista, Kurt Angle.
Oh, that's belter. That is a belter. Elimination Chamber. Pete.
I would have Taker,
Duh.
Strowman,
Oh,
HBK,
yeah.
Triple H, Edge, and Cena.
Oh, I like it.
Oh,
Got the ruthless aggression era style ones going at it.
Very good, very good. Willow?
Why am I last? Why look at me?
Because I just assume that you're not done
I
yet.
am. Why
Oh,
look
go
at
on,
me?
Alex, go ahead! Jesus!
Look at me as if you're going to do me and then...
A big part.
Willow.
Them Roman eyes.
Vince McMahon.
Oh. Alright.
Braun Strowman. Because
Yeah.
I would love to see him just launch Vince McMahon.
Is that the only reason he's in there?
HBK,
Yeah.
Undertaker,
Uh-huh.
Jeff Hardy, and Rey Mysterio, because it's always good having a little guy in it.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, the reason I've got Jeff Hardy in there is for the flippy shit. Like, for the high flying spots. But you could have Ray in there as well for other stuff. I agree. It's like Kalisto as well. You could have had. But Ray's obviously got more name
Rey's
value.
better.
Yeah, I'm better.
No one wants Kalisto.
No.
Kalisto's just like Aldi Rey Mysterio.
There's nothing wrong with Aldi. He's the netto.
He's
Neto.
Neto.
He's the Neto Rey
He's the Safeway Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Quick save.
Oh, he's the co-op Rey Mysterio.
No,
No, co-op's too much
Okay,
star power.
That's what
Too much star power?
Yeah, it's expensive co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kalisto's not
I
expensive.
said I
Hang
lied
on.
in US and said I'm still a student just so I can get 10% off the co-op. It's that expensive.
Well, I mean, you've given the game away now.
What? You can get 10% discount at co-op?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're an NUS card member, yeah.
Your
Turns
entire
out,
life
a few
is
good
a lie.
marks has all just been a big co-op advertisement this whole time. We've been leading up to this one moment.
Roller, who have you got?
I'd have Kane,
Yeah.
good Kane, Ric Flair, Scott Steiner,
Oh.
Triple H, Hogan, and Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's it's a very you.
It is a very me.
That's a very you
Yeah.
podcast.
Podcast?
Chamber. That's what I meant. Yeah. So what were you saying? You thought what? You were going to say something, and I cut you off, and you've forgotten. So moving on. So I've got a couple of Elimination Chamber facts. Went and did my homework because I got bored. So the Elimination Chamber. The first one was in 2002. The first 4 were Raw exclusive. After that, the next 2 were held at No Way Out exclusive, and then No Way Out just became Elimination Chamber. There was it's been its own pay-per-view since 2010, except in 2016. So it's had one every single year except 2016. Can you guess how much it costs to construct the Elimination Chamber?
$300,000.
$1 million.
25 grand.
25 grand?
50.
50 grand. Croft's the closest. It's 250 grand.
250 grand for a bit
It's a
of
lot.
steel.
It's a lot of metal. And the
That's
Plex.
a lot,
And Plex on. Don't forget the bulletproof glass, mate.
It's kind of like
And the LEDs now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure whether that was for the old one or for the new one.
The hook's to hold it up.
But Chris Jericho has the most appearances and most eliminations. 8 appearances, 10 eliminations. Triple H has won the most at 4. Okay, can you guess how many? This is also up to date because I wrote the original number down and then updated it as of the other night. So can you guess how many different wrestlers have entered the Elimination Chamber?
How many has there been again?
Well, there's been 22.
22. Need my calculator.
There's been 22. No. I said guess.
Well, I'm not good at quick maths.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Minus 1.
Just random number.
95.
Okay.
No.
Oh. Well, your price is going to be
85.
85.
Let's say 40.
40.
40.
Go on.
75.
Okay.
72.
Willow's bang on 75 different wrestlers. Because there's also, if you remember, there was the tag team one a couple of years ago, which threw in the numbers, and of course this year was the biggest. It wasn't, but it had 7 instead of
the Intercontinental Chamber.
The Intercontinental one as well.
How awful was that?
That was probably the worst one.
Is that the one with
Speaking of the Intercontinental title, the titles have changed. I want to say 9 times inside Elimination Chamber. The WWE has changed down 3. The World Heavyweight has changed down 3. The Intercontinental has changed down once. So is the ECW title, and the tag teams, and now the women's title has also been defended inside the Elimination Chamber. And there you go, which brings us nicely on to the Elimination Chamber.
Hey,
So, Elimination Chamber 2018. Let's do predictions now. I was the sole champion going into this pay-per-view event.
Were you?
I was, because Candy...
Oh, of course, yeah, you were.
Yep, I was the sole. Although I will say sole, because Candy didn't match my number, but Pete did. But on Champion's Advantage, I retained.
True.
Candy's come back miraculously and has won this time. So a round of applause for Candy. He's not here. Candy is the new champ. His belt currently sits on an empty seat with his name on it.
With a clean sweep as well, wasn't it?
Yes, it was clean sweep. But now we've actually got the Virgin Card of Shame back off Willow. So I'm going to hand it to Alex, who can then hand it to Croft.
Thanks. It was nice having this.
Thank you.
And there it is. And now, Croft, you've got to put it on. Because
Now you've got to go to Olive Garden and hustle.
I will wear it with pride, always.
But mostly shame.
Mostly shame.
It's like the cruiserweight title.
Isn't it just?
I'm pretty sure that's got more fucking prestige behind it than the Crazyweight title. So, the Elimination Chamber, on the pre-show, we got the Miztourage against Gallows and Anderson. Did anybody watch this?
No.
Anybody watch this? Okay, Gallows and Anderson won.
Can we cut out that we didn't watch it?
No, because I actually did watch it. So it was a proper solid match. The club are really starting to hit their stride, and the Miztourage weren't bad either. You know what? Honestly, if there was ever like the club have been on the pre-show, they're also on the Royal Rumble one, and then on this one. Like, I genuinely would say go back and watch this match. It's not actually that bad.
Oh, of course.
It was good. On to the main card! The first match up was the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match for Alexa Bliss's Raw Women's title.
How nervous did they all look? They was all
very.
sat there.
But then this
You could tell that they was thinking of the spots that they had planned. It was all like this.
That too, but also is the Elimination Chamber. It's a very it masks that because it's a very daunting structure, and we've seen it in the past a lot with guys when they first walk in, all the charisma just goes out of them, and they just walk in. It's like, oh my god, this is actually surreal. I'm about to die. So it kind of masked it in that way. I can only imagine that they were feeling the pressure a lot. This is the first time this is going to go on. You've got that pressure to smash out the park, so so they've got an excuse to do it next time around.
Even when they came out there, like you're saying that people go in the Elimination Chamber and then the charisma goes, like, even when they came out, you could.
Sasha wasn't. Sasha was
they
like
looked at it and then was just
going
like,
for it.
Yeah, she measures herself on a weekly basis anyway.
This is true.
So this is nothing new for her.
That's true.
This is true. My first note on here isn't about the actual the match itself, but is that I love the fact that Coach is back. Love that Coach is back, replacing Booker T. There's just so much more of a dynamic on the announce table now, and he does actually bring something, whereas Booker T didn't.
At least he's not senile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sonya Deville and Bayley started off the match. It was a slow pace, but that's understandable. It's the Elimination Chamber is a marathon, not a sprint, so it's all good. Then Mandy Rose was in third, and the double team.
I'm very impressed with Mandy Rose. Actually.
Yeah, she's good.
I didn't think I would be when she got called up, but I think she's better than expected.
Yeah, she's very good. Very, very good. Bayley got tied up in between the chamber links. Did you see that? She they popped her arm through the other side, and then they kicked her in the stomach, and it looked friggin' nasty. It looked nasty. I've said this, and I've just remembered.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the everyone has a friend type vibe.
Yeah, I mean.
I wasn't a fan of that. It was like, is that like because it's never been done before, or because all girls need a friend?
We've never really had a dynamic where you've had a women's tag team in a chamber before. Women's tag teams in general aren't seen very often.
No, true.
Established tag teams. So Absolution being in there, both being in the same match and being able to fight side by side.
The only time I've really seen that happen was with Carlito and Chris Masters, where they worked through everyone, and that was in the 06 chamber. That's the only real time I've seen that happen.
I have to say, I don't know if you've wrote it out, but I'm going to say it now. Mickey James was the absolute standout of the entire match. She didn't get nowhere near enough ring time, and she was great.
Yeah, she was really good.
Didn't she hit a first press off the pod?
She did. She absolutely did. So Sasha Banks was in at fourth, and then we got our first ever elimination. So Mandy Rose was the first to enter out of the pod for the Women's Elimination Chamber, and she was the first eliminated. There's a bit of trivia for you.
In a bit, Mandy Rose.
Then Mickey James was in at fifth, and she did jump off the top of the pod. First press onto Sonya Deville, and then Sonya Deville was then eliminated. Then Mickey James went. And then Alexa Bliss was in last.
I liked the spot that they did where they was all chasing Alexa.
Yeah, that was really good. Although I didn't really see why they couldn't have just both gone around either side of the pod to begin with. They both gone around the same side of the pod, which would have been fine in the old ones, but now both sides open.
Yeah.
So if you'd done that, you'd have not had that. I mean, you could see why because they did it for the spot, but I mean,
it did look a bit daft.
Yeah. And then Sasha kicked Bayley off the top of the pod, and all I can think in my head is the Lion King, long live the Queen, kick her off, type thing. But there we go. Bayley eliminated. We were down to 2. I was waiting for the sparkle splash off the top of the chamber pod, and we got it.
I was so annoyed there that Sasha just put her in the arm thing, the cross thing.
Yeah, in the
straight away.
She just
more or less
and jumped up.
She did it to the outside though, didn't she?
Yeah.
So she did the sparkle splash onto the outside.
Twisted Bliss, it's not the sparkle.
No. There's one thing I will refuse to ever call it the Twisted Bliss, even if it may be a cooler name. It will forever be the sparkle splash. Forever will be the sparkle splash.
Which should have been.
Yeah, that would have hurt a lot more.
More devastating.
Yeah, it made Sasha look
just
amazing.
Popped up and put her in the bank statement.
But it happened. But anyway, the sparkle splash from top of the pod happened, and I popped a fuck. But it didn't matter anyway. Didn't matter about Sasha getting her in the crossface because Bliss retained. Great first showing. Fantastic.
I reckon they'll do it again.
One would hope so.
They can't really not.
I think it's got to be SmackDown next year, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think they'll take it in turns each year. Who gets what?
No, that's the thing. They did it when they did it with just the men's and they had 2. It was both thingies. So now, it'd be interesting to see, with obviously it now them all being dual branded pay-per-views.
Of course, sure.
They're not going to have 4 on one night, are they?
They might have 2, 3 from one and 3 from the other, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
6?
No, 3 competitors.
Yeah, that I can see. A last chance Royal Rumble type vibe.
Yeah.
That's fair. Either that or you have one match SmackDown, so say SmackDown Women's get it next year, but then the Raw Men's still get it next year. Maybe you do it that way. But no, we'll see. We will see. There was a very face promo from Alexa Bliss. Well, it was.
It was brilliant.
And then she just it was fantastic. What a promo that was. It was, she she was all like, it was just like, I've dreamed about this for ages, wiping tears away. It was so amazing. And then she just goes, because none of you will ever achieve any of your dreams. It's like, genius. I love her.
She's a great heel.
I love her. She's brilliant. Next up was Titus Worldwide versus The Bar.
Oh my god, who cares?
For the Raw Tag Team
I
Championships.
can really get behind Titus Worldwide though.
You know what? I really liked it.
I really like Titus O'Neil. Sorry, not so. I mean, I wish they'd
With Titus
scrap-
O'Neil and Apollo.
And Apollo.
I wish they'd scrap Dana Brooke.
My boy.
Oh,
Apollo, I'm upgrading. I'm upgrading Apollo to my official boy.
Apollo.
I'm having him. I'm claiming Apollo as my boy.
Got a cracking standing.
He's my boy. He's great. Yeah, the bar. All I've got is no. He is not.
He is a chocolate midget.
Not Bobby Lashley.
He is a chocolate midget.
He is not Bobby Lashley.
No, Bobby Lashley's not a chocolate midget.
He's a Freddo. Yeah, but that's where it came from.
No, because
Oh no, it came from the Battletoad thing, didn't it? Well, there goes my joke for later on, as you clearly see. But it settled down there. There goes that joke. I missed that. I was waiting for that joke coming up later, but I mean, I feel like something very racist.
Apollo is a mini magnum.
Yeah, well, understand. Let's go into.
I told you it was a good one.
Mini Magnum.
Oh, Jesus.
This match.
Do you even buy mini magnums anymore?
Yeah, man, you get them in a
Still buy
six-pack.
them?
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't buy them anymore.
So the Bar Pearl Harbored Titus Worldwide to get started. The Pearl Harbor, it means catching them off guard and attacking them from behind. Pearl Harbor. MSW use it all the time. I feel like
The monsoon thing.
it's a Gorilla
I'm
Monsoon
going to use that from
reference.
now on. I'm planning the match.
Pearl Harbor.
Did anyone get onto them chanting Pearl Harbor at Gary's ear?
Yeah.
Oh, that's heavy.
Unhappy ending?
Can you swiftly edit that out? But
Swiftly edit that out.
No, that is a really, it's proper bad. Like, there's Pearl Harbor and happy ending. Carries in.
what's happy ending?
They call it like rice and that's worse.
Egg fried rice.
What's happy ending? I don't get it.
Like,
like
how?
Oh,
The happy ending.
Why
I
was
give
he
you
doing
sports
that?
massage.
why was he doing that?
Like stereotyping, innit?
Mm.
Did
You
he
know,
get
you go
kicked out?
for a massage.
This is
all of this is getting into
Oh yeah. So this is the first time I can remember seeing Apollo on the main show for quite a while, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I did. He's my boy.
Do you know what? He was alright.
He did really well. It was a decent match, but nothing special. It was almost like the same finish to the club match from the pre-show. It was almost an exact, like an almost exact replica finish. It was like that they saw that and turned, yeah, let's just do that. Like just in a different way.
I thought you were looking at the other one.
I'm not a big fan of the Bar's finish. The white noise. Weird bulldog.
Yeah, it's not. They could definitely do something a bit more inventive, couldn't they? Like I personally, I think a swing and then a bro kick into the side of their head as they're coming in.
If you
That'd
could
be
get
great.
them high enough.
That'd be amazing. I mean, it'd be a mini bro kick, really, wouldn't it? But I mean, you'd still
Or a
get the,
Celtic cross into a bulldog.
that's what they do essentially. Is
that what they do now?
I mean, he calls it a white
Yeah,
noise,
like
but it's a
Oh,
Celtic
they-
cross.
Celtic
Oh,
He's
yeah,
not done
makes
that in years, you know.
He hasn't.
He's
It's
not pulled
probably
that out
because
since about
Razor
2009.
Ramon, like, hey, stop using me move. Bad.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
Hey,
yo,
yo.
stop using me move. Next up was Nia Jax versus Asuka. It was a big promo package.
It was a phenomenal, amazing,
wasn't it?
very good match.
Amazing. So the promo package was really good.
What a match!
What a match. Amazing,
What a match.
amazing.
What a
phenomenal.
maneuver.
Fuck off, all of you.
Phenomenal.
Nia has a new nickname called the Irresistible Force. Why? She got Hulk Hogan's nickname?
No, it was another
It's
Gorilla
wrong.
Monsoon thing. He used to say it to like everyone.
Oh,
It
it was
was
the
fast.
Irresistible Force.
Irresistible
Like,
force
I mean, it's
using the
just.
immovable object.
But she's more like the immovable object, though, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly.
It is,
It's just
yeah.
the opposite of what she should be called.
She should be
It's-
like
I
a
just didn't-
walking condominium.
I just looked at him and went, that's, but it's also the most plain, generic name. It's literally from Creator Wrestling.
No, the irresistible force, like, because you can't resist her.
Yeah,
As
she's
in,
fit as
you
fuck.
can't resist against her. If she's pushing you, you're
And
going.
she's also sexually irresistible.
Yeah,
apparently.
that's how I would have looked at it. That she's fit as fuck, but she's like
definitely
forced
for a
to do
PG
it.
company. I definitely don't think that's what they mean by that.
No, it probably is.
No, Vince.
You watched Total Divas?
The what?
You watched Total Divas?
I have not.
Watched Total Divas?
Fair enough.
And in other news,
Nia looked really, really strong. Really, really strong this match. Asuka was just like bumping around her, just taking all the moves. And but it was the right decision having Asuka win.
It's not
I
very
think
realistic.
this
is wrestling.
It's wrestling, mate.
to be fair, like realistically, she's not a very good wrestler, so it does make sense.
Yeah, she's just big and strong, and then obviously
She's
like
just large.
I mean, she got put in an armbar. An armbar's gonna fucking hurt, regardless of who you are. So it's it's right move.
Did Nia tap?
Yes.
No, she got rolled up.
Oh yeah, she did get rolled up.
Ah, that's alright then.
But anyway, the match was okay. It was like half squash, half like Asuka kind of got a heat back.
I didn't see half of this pay-per-view.
We can tell.
Which is why I
can tell because I'm flying through these matches. Really
in the video package, like they showed a clip of where Nia's like, "Oh, you can't beat me, Asuka." Yeah, she fully beat me in NXT. Though,
yeah, I saw that. Like, we just NXT.
And I'm pretty sure she's done it on the main roster as well.
Yeah, I was saying earlier that it annoys me that they're making it out as if it's like the first time they've ever faced.
When continuity goes out the window, I hate.
Yeah, same. And it was like
when it suits them.
It was like Undertaker versus Triple H at 27. Just forget about that match they had 10 years ago. Forget about probably the best Undertaker WrestleMania match he had at that point. It was jokes.
It's like they'll never bring up Finn Balor's NXT title run unless this, before the Universal Championship thing, it was always like, oh, former NXT champion. They'll never bring up the NXT Championship now that Balor's won the Universal. Never, ever. That's a shame, because it happened.
They'll never bring up what?
They'll never
Balor
mention
winning the
that he
NXT
was a former
championship.
NXT champion. Unless he comes up against a former NXT champion.
Why? Why would?
Because they're just disregarding it. They just don't
As
want
soon
it
as
to be.
something better comes along, they never talk about it.
Yeah, he'd rather he's now going to be the former Universal champion.
The first ever Universal champion.
That too, rather than the people wouldn't. People don't even say that about Seth Rollins, the first ever NXT champion.
No,
they don't even say that about him. Even Big E, he doesn't get that anymore.
No,
Bro's jealous.
Bro definitely doesn't get that anymore.
Definitely not.
Next up was Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Bray tends to have really weird starts to his matches. He had a weird start to his match against Finn Balor, where it was just it's just different. I'll give him credit. I'm not sure if that's the booking decision or if it's his decision, but he comes up with different ways to start off his matches.
Maybe he's just shit.
It's different. Bloody love Matt Hardy. Bray did his look back thing, and Matt was just
I love that.
Just applauding him again, but also applauding him. Fantastic.
The crowd started standing up, and he was going,
It was
"Come
great.
on, stand up!"
Then I thought a fight or somebody was getting thrown out in the crowd. Nope, it was a beach ball. Cunts. Yeah, I get it. This feud, not many people are into it. Bray Wyatt's a bit stale now, but still, fuck off. And then they did the Mexican wave as well.
It's a shame because this was the one feud people wanted when Matt turned
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's been a little bit mishandled here and there, whatever. But I was genuinely looking forward to this match, and I could honestly if you remove the crowd being bellends, and if they were actually into it, that match could have been something. Pretty good.
Listen, I completely agree with saying the crowd shouldn't be doing it, but the crowd are going to do it at the end of the day. When you watch wrestling, you're not signing up to watch the live audience. You're signing up to watch what's happening in the ring. Disregard the crowd. It shouldn't ruin your enjoyment of a match. Just people who paid their own money to go decided to try and get themselves over. Forget that. Focus on the talent. If they want to be disrespectful, that's their prerogative.
Completely agreed.
It doesn't have to ruin your enjoyment.
Completely agreed. But at the same time, the whole point of wrestling is to involve the crowd.
I know, but
and the crowd involvement makes the matches.
But if they want to disregard it, and if they want to uninvolve themselves and do their own thing, fine.
Look at me.
The more you give them an audience,
we was the only. What's it called? Jinder Mahal marks in the world. We didn't care what the audience thought. We still loved Jinder Mahal.
We had fun. Put it this way: at the end of Jinder Mahal's title run, who had more fun? The people who didn't like Jinder or the people who did?
True. Matt Hardy won.
It just does two then.
Matt Hardy won. Crowds obviously wasn't into it, and then for me, that killed the match.
I think what killed the match was a terrible build.
I think and that too. But at the same time, you can have no build and still have a great match.
You can.
Bray needs like a serious like face turn or something.
You need something new.
He needs to go away.
He needs something
needs to go
new.
away for a bit.
He needs to get away and
time.
then come back with something completely different, like something that you wouldn't even expect.
I think Bray
Milan
should,
Worsing.
I think Bray should go
Go
and
off to the
form an
Indies.
actual cult.
Go off to the Indies
Have
and
it-
find himself.
No, like have vignettes of him back in the backwoods, like giving sermons to nobody around a campfire. And over time, people start coming to the campfire and listening to him. And then by the time it's his debut, he's got like 500 people gathered around a campfire. And then at the end of his promo on the screen, he's like, "We're here." And then he just turns up and everyone will lose the shit for it. But they won't do that. They'll have him come on screen and laugh over nothing.
Do a spider thing.
Oh, spooky. He's awful. He's the worst character in WWE right now. He's worse than Roderick Strong.
Big claim.
He never used to be either. He used to be like
No, he
when
used
he
to be
was
hot.
when he started, he was like fucking hot shit.
He was.
But
Now
I
he
think
is
the
just shit.
loss.
Yeah.
I think the many losses
he's a scumbag.
have killed that too.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Next up was the Ronda Rousey contract signing. Kurt Angle, Trips, and Steph were all at first. I thought this was probably the best way they could have handled it. After they received a fair bit of backlash, having a debut the way she did after the Women's Rumble,
Pointed at
and all
signs.
like mispointing at signs and shit, and not being not trying to say like they didn't have her come out. They kept the buzz going. Obviously, they kept mentioning stuff, but it allowed it to kind of settle and like kind of and let everything breathe a bit, and also let people appreciate the Women's Rumble a lot more. If they've just done it straight away after Raw. This is what I was saying on the night of because when we did the last FedWatch at the Rumble, we were all a bit like there was all this like it's taking all this stuff away, and as I said then, I said let's see what they do with it, and I think they've done it bang on.
Yeah, it's true. I think in the aftermath of the Rumble, Rousey's hype died down before the Rumble itself did.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think people were, like you say, we all kind of appreciate the Rumble of it, and then it got to Rousey.
I saw an interesting poll on WWE. WWE have this thing of putting polls up, and it's essentially like, book our shows for us. Tell us actually what you want us to do. We'll do the opposite for it. You know what I mean? But the poll was, do you want to see Ronda Rousey get a title shot straight away? And there was yes, I want to see Ronda get a challenge for a title right away. No, the MMA star needs to prove herself in the squared circle first. The percentage was 32 yes to 68 no.
God.
So, and then this obviously resonates with what she said. When she came out, she said, I want to prove myself, I don't want special treatment, I want to do this. Like, grand, that's great, that's how you should be coming into it. That's going to go over great with the hardcore fans.
But that means that she is going to come in and get booked to prove herself and then still get the title shot pretty much straight away anyway.
Oh, yeah?
But she's going to be booked to prove herself. But if she doesn't prove herself,
But she will.
Of course she will.
I mean, to be fair, she's very
she's
good.
gonna get
Yeah, but
back with-
she's very good.
Have we
They tell you
for-
how they want your matches.
Yeah, but have we
She's gonna
forgot-
get booked to prove
Of
herself.
course she will. Wrestling's a scripted art form.
Very true.
Of course she is.
But then
That's
it's
the whole point.
So
True.
it's like there was no point of that promo. There was no point of the pearl on Twitter or whatever it was.
They did the vignette before she came out and stuff, and like, even though it was a couple of, it was only like clips of her in ring working with like Shayna Baszler and stuff like that. Like, she looks good. The moves she's doing,
She'll be alright.
they look solid. I genuinely think she'd like. I mean, look at Kurt Angle. Everyone was like Kurt Angle in pro wrestling. Granted, he had thingy actually in wrestling, but then she's got a background in judo as well, which there's been several wrestlers who've taken a number of disciplines from different stuff like that across the years.
I do think eventually people are going to get bored of the style that she's coming in with. Like, you've got to remember that WWE fans will probably only watch MMA not like the same way they watch WWE, so they'll watch MMA maybe when it's like a big massive event.
Yeah, but Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville are both doing the same sort of gimmick at the moment, where it's this MMA style, this throwing
and
different
what I'm
styles
saying
in.
is that they're going to get boring.
I don't think so. I think there's plenty of different ways that you could do it, and
It's
it's
not
still
the
going
right
to be intense.
immersion. Like when you watch Charlotte Flair, like she literally lives and breathes immersion. Like that's what makes you want to watch her because of how she is like in her matches. Like when she gets beaten, when she.
I think we're also judging Ronda here before she's got in the ring. This is very preemptive.
Also,
I mean, in
the
defence.
ones with MMA gimmicks, Sonya, Shayna, and Ronda have all quite recently started wrestling. Charlotte's been wrestling a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
I think it'll come with time for all of them.
It's something to learn, isn't it, as you go on? Like at the moment, the very like stoic, the very like hard faced, legit type thing.
I don't really want her to come.
But then saying that, Ronda Rousey, she has a proper baby face. She like that smile, like when she's like smiling and stuff like that. It's proper like baby face. I mean, I find it really attractive.
It's a shame she can't cut a promo yet, but she will come with time.
Yeah, that'll also come with time.
Look at the other people who've come from MMA, like people like Ken Shamrock.
Exactly. Dan Severn.
Yeah, Dan Severn.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Severn was less of a start, but
Had potential to be.
Particularly Ken Shamrock was a big star, and he was
Brock
there for
Lesnar?
years.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Brock Lesnar went to WWE first.
Well, it was UFC that made him the mainstream star he is now.
Yeah, but
He didn't have the mainstream appeal.
He brought
before
wrestling
that.
to
but
UFC.
he
He
was-
didn't bring UFC to
It's
wrestling.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, I'd say he did both.
But he changed when he came back.
He did,
to
yeah.
UFC.
Yeah, so he's brought that influx of UFC back to WWE, but to begin with, Willow's right. He did take
absolutely.
WWE. I bloody love Kurt Angle. He went full on tiny cowboy hat in this segment.
He really did.
It was just, but they
I
were.
just want to interrupt. You said something about Ronda Rousey not being able to go in a squared circle. Isn't an octagon more of a squared circle than a ring?
I didn't say that, but I mean.
No, in the part of the pole.
Oh,
You said something like
yeah,
she
threw
put
herself in
a
a squared circle.
An octagon is
Most
more
definitely more of a circle.
than
Yeah.
a ring.
Oh well. It wasn't Kurt's best promo, but I'm really happy that breast promo wasn't Kurt's best promo, but I'm really happy that they got a 31 reference in there. It's a very obvious setup, but I mean it's good. Why not?
Did you see his face when he was getting punched? It's fucking hilarious.
Oh.
Kurt's face when he got.
Who's this on Raw?
Oh.
It's dead funny.
It's just like
No, I kind of saw the freeze frame, but I didn't pick up on his face.
Yeah, just go back.
Trips got put through a table. It was going to happen because it's a WWE contract signing, but it was enjoyable. Fucking Steph.
I hate her so much.
Fucking Steph. Like, she just can't, like Mr. McMahon, when he made it about him, it was for the interest of his own company to make it survive, and he was also doing it as the main antagonist to put Stone Cold over. Stephanie McMahon is just putting herself over,
I hate her.
and it's just not good.
I hate her more than Bray Wyatt and Roderick Strong combined.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
I really do. She is the worst thing about WWE right now. Funnily enough, you can read my article on this on Fisher Wrestling's official blogger website blog thing.
Put a link in the description.
Have a look. In that, I talk about all the reasons why Stephanie McMahon is literally the worst thing about WWE, and it's still relevant even now.
Still relevant.
I wrote it about a year ago, and it's still happening.
Yeah, it's just jokes. It's like, she invented women's wrestling.
She was shit.
She's just shit. She's just awful.
She's awful. The problem is, most heels, when you watch them, good heels, like The Miz, you're like, oh, you're a bastard, you. I proper want to see someone slap the shit out of you. And then Stephanie comes out, and it's like, you'll be watching those heels because you want to see it happen. Stephanie comes on and it's like, fuck this, I'm not watching this.
Yeah, it's go away heat, isn't it?
Yeah. It's, I'm going to stop watching the network. It's, I'm going to cancel my network subscription.
I'm
not going to pay for the weeklies.
I don't want to see you on my screen.
Exactly. I don't want to spend half an hour of my life watching you and your husband cut a promo.
I know, I can't believe that she's like as not successful as she is, but she gets as much TV time as she does. Like,
Well, I mean, she books the. She doesn't actually anymore.
She does
She's not
generate
part of
a lot of heat, but I think that she only really generated good heat was maybe when she was in the Authority.
Yeah.
Maybe that point that was like, and even then it was like, oh, go
Yeah,
on,
I couldn't
Stephanie.
stand.
Yeah, 15-minute promos at the start of every Raw.
Yeah.
Try half an hour.
Yeah, that too. That's true.
It's shocking.
Ah, fuck you, Steph. Anyway, let's move on to our main event. It is the men's Elimination Chamber match where the winner, contain yourself, goes on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Phenomenal, amazing.
Good, you got it on
What
twice.
a match.
Very
good
match. What a match.
My first note is Finn, you sexy blue bastard.
Oh, did you last tweet about him?
Finn
About
Balor.
how
Finn
sexy
Balor.
he is.
I was just gonna.
Finn Balor. And I personally can't wait for Neil.
He went from being a can of cherry Coke to being a Pepsi.
He did.
Full on Pepsi as well.
The what?
Full on Pepsi.
Oh yeah, full on Pepsi. It wasn't even diet.
Have you,
Oh no.
have you seen his grey attire?
Oh.
If I was that way inclined,
I would.
Yeah,
it's great.
I would like
that was Diet Coke. Actually, he's gone from Diet Coke to Cherry Coke to Pepsi.
Here's something if you want to get down the Reddit rabbit hole on. Actually, it wasn't on the Reddit rabbit hole. It was on WWE shitposting. One fine gentleman on there has debunked how big is Finn Balor's dick.
Oh my god!
Just by getting pictures of him, comparing it to the actual height of Triple H, and then using Triple H miniaturized as a scale. It's amazing, and if we can find the post, I will link to it.
Oh, that's amazing!
Incredible that someone spent that much time
Just figuring out how big his knob is.
big his wank is.
What's the verdict?
I think it's about 8 inches.
Nice.
Was the approximation?
Jeez, big guy.
For you.
So it was the biggest Elimination Chamber match. It was the biggest singles Elimination Chamber match.
Out loud, his mum's in there.
I'm not even going to ask what he said. I didn't hear what he said. Write it down. No, good.
Yeah.
So Cena was the first to enter after. So The Miz, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor all started the match. Maybe a preview of what we're getting at WrestleMania?
Possibly.
IC triple threat match. John Cena was the first to enter, then followed by Roman. Then Braun Strowman came in and smashed The Miz's face against the glass repeatedly. And people were speculating that there may have been some blood on the glass as well.
Really?
like it may have been a nosebleed or something like that. Like smacked his face against the upper part of the chamber and then tossed him off the chamber as well.
I love The Miz. He's a proper workhorse.
What a guy. And then The Miz was first eliminated, obviously just being thrown off the top of the chamber.
Elias.
Nope. Miz was eliminated first. Strowman takes everything, all the moves in the world, and still kicks out. Oh my god, how did he not win this match?
I just love that he kicked out the AA.
It was a good tease.
Yeah, I mean everyone did.
It was a good tease, like having him eliminate everyone, then Roman go over.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, it was. I didn't get hyped for it because I think. I'll come to that in the end. I'll go on around
people
it.
kicking out of one unless it's Braun Strowman.
Elias was the next to go. Then John Cena went that early in the match. No, he's not going to clear a path to WrestleMania anymore. He's going to SmackDown.
Oh, that
Bye, John.
I was so excited. I really thought he was calling on the Undertaker, and then he was like, "And that's not happening."
I've made my feelings very clear on Undertaker not having a match at WrestleMania on our last podcast.
It's
I
definitely
really hope
happening.
it doesn't.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but I wouldn't
6-week
mind
build.
it if it was John Cena.
Well, it might not. Well, I mean, they might do. They might have it build up on SmackDown.
To be fair,
If
it would have been a
anyone-
very WWE thing for him to just go, yeah, I've got no one's face, so Undertaker looks like a face in you then.
Hey, buddy!
Come on, Mark, lad. Ride your bike down.
I've got here. Strowman has eliminated everyone so far. Little did I know. Finn gets his shit in and then is eliminated by Braun. He literally hit everything and then got out and then went out. I was like, I tried to read. I'm pretty sure I wrote that down last night. I was like, I'm not going to remember what that means. But then I reread it. It was a big ass frog splash from Seth Rollins to Braun. Not like the shitty frog splash that Sasha Banks did, which was just a splash. She didn't even tuck the legs or anything. It was just a leap.
Awful.
But Eddie Guerrero did one. Didn't you know? Eddie Guerrero used to do frog splash. Didn't you know? Eddie Guerrero, Sasha Banks. Didn't
oh my
you know?
god!
Yeah, he
Amazing.
used to do them well.
Yeah, he used to actually do a frog splash. He invented him. Then Strowman eliminates Rollins, we're down to 5, and then Reigns wins. Who could have called that? Oh wait, everyone since WrestleMania last year, we knew it was happening.
We all called Roman, didn't we?
Every single, on our predictions, there was 2 matches that everyone sweeps. The first one was Gallows and Anderson. Everyone knew that was happening, and the second one was Roman Reigns.
We almost all sweeped the women's elimination chamber.
Yes, we did.
This dumbass picked Bailey.
Yeah, you did. And then we also all sweeped Asuka and Nia Jax.
Except this dumbass picked Nia Jax.
Yeah, you did.
I was the only one that picked Titus Worldwide as well.
Yeah, you only picked Titus Worldwide, and then me and you picked Matt Hardy.
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, somebody else did as well.
I also picked
And then
Bray
you
Wyatt.
and Candy clean sweep. That was a quick rundown of who we actually picked for predictions, ladies and gentlemen. And then Strowman kills him afterwards, which I'm more than fine with.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. It's all good. Braun Strowman stats. Do you want some Braun Strowman stats?
Let's have some stuff.
So Braun Strowman, 5 eliminations in his first match, on par with John Cena, CM Punk, and Randy Orton for eliminations. Has more eliminations than Edge, who is a 2-time winner. More eliminations than Sheamus, Shawn Michaels, Goldberg, Batista, Ray, and my boy Bobby Lashley, aka the Fredo. We were doing that joke earlier, so fuck you all.
The Fredo himself.
But yeah, that's an impressive. That is an impressive.
It's damn impressive.
I was gonna and there's. I was going to do the entire list of everyone else he's done has more eliminations combined, but I mean that's a lot of people. There's been very, very few people who are now above Strowman in that elimination thing, and you can only imagine within a year. If he's in next year. Or if he's in
I don't understand why they're pushing
year
him this much and then not giving him anything for it.
It's because they pushed him to the moon all of last year, and it's now you're on that roll. You can't not just let it die off because he is one of your biggest stars right now. That's how you. But
that's what I mean. They're pushing him this much, but then he's getting nothing out of it.
I reckon he'll feud with Roman when Roman wins.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I liked their feud.
It was great.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it maybe more towards Extreme Rules, so we get a proper. Beat the shit out of each other type match. But we had that last year, didn't we?
Well, Roman's already committed attempted murder.
That's just true. So now it's going to get his revenge on him.
Well, then Braun
walked away.
Then Braun tried attempted murder and got suspended for it.
One rule for one rule for the other. And that's all we have. So of course Roman Reigns wins.
Of course he does. He's got
and it's the first confirmed match for WrestleMania 34. Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns.
No. You know what? I'm buzzing for it.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Me
it is.
too.
Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
AJ Styles has got to go through Fastlane. There's a 5-way for the WWE title.
He's not going to.
Do you know what?
I mean, if we don't, I'm going to fume.
Do you know what? Do you know what is confirmed? The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle
Royal, brother! 34 superstars
my
this time.
favourite match.
Is it really?
It's going up one every year.
That winds me up so much, rationally.
I mean, it's just going to end up 50 in 2 rings. for one war game. World War 3, baby.
World War 3, yeah.
That's that. That's that for this year. This year's FedWatch. That's us, folks. We'll see you later. That's that for this month's FedWatch. Thoughts on Elimination Chamber? Pete and Alex, because either of the two have seen it.
I thought it was alright.
I really enjoyed this paper.
I did,
really
and
enjoyed
even though that Roman won, I still enjoyed the match. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, cracking match. One of the better ones.
Isn't that why you enjoyed the match?
Yeah, but
regardless of the fact that Roman Reigns won.
that was just a bonus. That was just the icing on the cake, really.
There we go. So we will see you next month for Fastlane, the last ever single-branded pay-per-view of this era.
I wonder if it'll break the Fastlane curse and actually be good this time. Of course it won't.
Maybe not. We'll see. I mean, it's got AJ on it, so it might be a little bit better. But then he is in a 5-way, so it could be awful.
It's going to be.
It's going to be crap. But we will see you for then. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. And in a couple of weeks' time, because we actually can do this now, because we actually tell people what's coming up, what the next episode is. So we can actually do this. We can foreshadow. So our next podcast will be all about booking and storylines. You've got that to look forward to in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to be talking about pros and cons of storylines and bookings, how we do things differently, and we've each picked a wrestling storyline to go through and book ourselves. It could be very interesting. We will see you. It will be. It's going to be fucking great.
Don't miss it.
It's going to be amazing. We will see you.
This if it's shit.
It's going to be phenomenal, very good. What a podcast.
Amazing. What a podcast. We will see you then. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. We will see you very, very soon. Bye.
Look at the adjective.
Oh, Sonny, what did you do that for?